back to the kitchen. Today's recipe I am very excited about. It is one that I made last year, I think. It was around this time because I was thinking about Thanksgiving food and all the yummy things, but it's pecan pie bars. I put a little twist on it because instead of making traditional pecan pie with corn syrup and all the things, I swapped out the corn syrup for maple syrup, and it was really, really good. And something about the bars just make it really easy. It's not a traditional pie crust, it's just a shortbread pie crust. This is one of my favorite recipes and one I'm excited to share, so let's get to it. All right, so for the shortbread crust, I'm gonna add 2 cups of all-purpose flour, and then 1/4 cup of granulated sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Kind of mix that up here. I always just use whatever measuring spoon I'm using at the time. And then I'm gonna add in 1.5 sticks of melted butter. It's okay if it's not melted all the way. It'll be fine. So we're just gonna mix it all up anyway. I'm just gonna use my hands because that's just how I roll, but you could absolutely use a spoon to do this and just mix it all until it's combined. All right, I've got my shortbread crust mixed up, and you can see it's still crumbly, but if you take it with your hand and you kind of squeeze it, it'll stick together in a ball. That's what you want. So I'm gonna add it to my pan. I've got a 9x13 greased pan. You could also use parchment paper. That would make them really easy to pull out later. I don't know why, I just always grease mine. I use avocado oil spray it down, and then I'm gonna add the crust in here, and then we'll press it down. All right, I've got it all pressed in here. Looks all nice. I just got it as evenly as I could, pressed it all the way to the edges. So I've got my oven preheated here. It's at 350. We'll bake this for about 15 minutes, and then I'll let it cool. But while it's baking, we'll mix up the pecan filling. The filling is just eggs, maple syrup, some brown sugar, vanilla, and that's really it. There's really not much to it. And it just gets poured, and the pecans, of course, and it gets poured over the top, and it's gonna be so good. I think the hardest part about this recipe is just waiting for it to cool so you can slice them and eat them. All right, I'm gonna make the filling. I've gone ahead and melted some butter here. Make sure that it's cooled slightly, because if you have, boiling hot butter and you start to add your eggs in there, it could scramble them pretty fast. But I'm gonna go ahead, add my maple syrup, and add 3 eggs. If I can get them, there we go. 2 and 3. Okay. Rinse my hands off. And then I'll add in 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Kind of measuring with my heart there. Okay. And then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then brown sugar. Okay. Kind of break up my egg yolks a little bit and then whisk it all together. And then we'll add in the chopped pecans. If you see little chunks of butter in there, don't worry about it. It's gonna go back in the oven, and it will all melt together and be beautiful and tasty. All right, I'm gonna add my pecans. Okay. Gonna whisk them in there the best you can. It's looking so good. Okay. And that's pretty much it, okay? Get a good look here. There's our mixture. All right. Trying to get my area cleaned up a little bit here. And I just pulled the shortbread crust out of the oven. I'll show you what it looks like. Let me grab a oven mitt here. Here it is. It's not super brown, so don't stress about it being overly brown, because we're going to pour this topping right over the top of it and put it right back in the oven to bake. So oh, that looks so good. I'm going to take my offset spatula and I'm going to try my best to get the pecans as evenly spread over the top as I can. And sometimes I even like to kind of shake them around a little bit like that. Let me actually get this under here, because I think that'll help. But you can see they're looking yummy. So this is going to go back in the oven, back at 350 for about half an hour, about 30 minutes, until we start to see the bars kind of puff up a little bit and set. And then we will let them cool. And then we get to slice them and try a bite. All right, I just pulled them out of the oven. I have a friend. Say hi. I got them out of the oven. I let them cool for 20 minutes or so. They honestly probably could have gone longer, but I am impatient and I wanted to show them to you. But this is what they look like. Yummy, delicious gooiness. They're so good. And I could just you just pull them apart. Look at that. Oh my gosh. But there you have it. Yummy, chewy, gooey pecan pie bars with maple syrup. None of that yucky other stuff. And honestly, they're so good. I have enjoyed hanging out with y'all today. If you enjoyed this video, please like this video. Please subscribe. I plan on making more videos. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you try these. Let me know what's on your Thanksgiving menu. And I'll see you in the next one.